Hey guys, and welcome back to Mangotology. If you're new here, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Steven Mango, and I'm an ex-Scientologist that works here on YouTube to expose Scientology. So if you'd like to stay up to date on all my videos, please make sure to go down below, hit that red subscribe button, and turn on your bell notifications, and you'll get an alert whenever I release a new video exposing Scientology. And for today's video, we are going to be talking about the YouTube creators and YouTube stars who have either secret ties or direct ties to the Church of Scientology, and some of these people may actually surprise you. So if you'd like to watch and get all of the tea on this, then keep on watching. Hey again guys, so really quickly before I begin today's video, I wanted to say thank you to each and every single one of you who are subscribed here on my channel, because we are now over 30,000 subscribers here on my channel, which means that there are now more Mangotologists than there actually are Scientologists around the world, which is absolutely so crazy to me because I never set out to be a YouTuber. I never aspired to be one. I was always set on being an actor and working on other projects and stuff like that. And years ago, I never set out to be a YouTuber. I didn't even want to necessarily start a channel or speak out against Scientology until I realized it was like the right thing to do. And I wanted to blow the whistle, so to speak, to help stop other people from getting involved in this organization. So you guys could come across my videos, learn about the abuses of Scientology, and steer clear. So that ultimately became my goal. And then I later on turned it into what we have here today, which is really exciting and something I'm so proud of. And all of you guys who go and share my videos on social media or watch them, share them to friends, it means so much more to me than you guys actually know to have your support here on my channel. So thank you to all of you guys who are subscribed. And for the reason that there are more Mangotologists than Scientologists is because they estimate around anywhere from 10 to 25,000 Scientologists around the world are out there and consider themselves Scientologists, which is a very small number when you think about it. That's probably what, one or two Staples centers in LA, or I don't even know how many people are at Madison Square Garden or how many seats there are, but again, it's not a large percentage of the population. What is that, like not even like 1%, like probably way less than that actually. So it really goes to show you that, you know, maybe Mangotology should be an actual religion, and maybe we should tax exempt Mangotology over here, and I could be your new charismatic leader. But, you know, I'm not starting a cult. But I did want to talk about YouTubers and their possible or direct ties to the Church of Scientology. Now, I was thinking about this one. I got the idea to make this video, and what I was thinking about was, it's really interesting that Scientology, from a PR standpoint, never thought to actually get like social media creators and influencers behind promoting Scientology. And not that, you know, someone with like a David Dobrik or someone with like 18 million subscribers is going to take a paid endorsement deal by Scientology, because again, that would ruin his credibility, the church. It would just, everything, it just wouldn't be right unless you actually were a Scientologist and could authentically promote Scientology, right? And you would think that, well, again, they can't, because in Scientology policies, L. Ron Hubbard never said, hey, work with influencers. They could only go by what Hubbard says in Hubbard policy. And that's why I always said Scientology is not going to be able to live in the digital age, because there's so many resources and information available online that really shows what Scientology is. It's not like there's a newspaper article from 1982 and say we're back in the 80s and you couldn't just Google Scientology. Unless you saw that newspaper article, you wouldn't know that Scientology is a cult. Say, for example, the Time magazine story about Scientology, a cult of money and greed and power, or something like that, was a title and a cover story in the Times magazine in like 90 or 91. And unless you, again, were familiar with that story or saw it on newsstands, whatever, it's easy for Scientology to brush that under the rug. Nowadays, those type of stories live on forever. You don't have to just like go to the newsstand to read a critic or someone's article about Scientology. So now that there's the internet, Scientology doesn't know how to handle the internet. They don't know how to get rid of people like me from speaking out, because they really kind of can't, because we have a right to free speech, and they kind of can't bury us under the rug as easily. And that same thing with Leah Remini or anyone who does speak out or have a blog or a video channel or whatever, right? So I think that Scientology, if they were smart, if they didn't just go by Hubbard policy, they would get their own members, which they kind of have done, but they kind of failed at, of getting people to go on camera and talk about Scientology, talk about the wins, talk about the technology of Scientology, and maybe even have like vloggers who are Scientologists to normalize and show like, hey, I'm a Scientologist and look at me traveling the world and being a normal person. We're not just creepy cult members. Like, look at us living our very normal lives. And I think that that would actually make Scientology look good, but they don't do things like that. And again, people would just cancel them and it would actually be found out that they're just cult members, right? But again, as I'm thinking about like what would be the way to normalize Scientology in the digital age, like I think that their reputation is so gone that there's no way that they could actually probably really do it. But I'm just surprised that they never really knew how to do the internet. They have their TV network, no one watches it. They have their YouTube channel, again, no one watches it. They had one of their songs go viral actually in the last week with like at least 1 million views or something. Maybe they bought it all, who knows. But again, about the coronavirus, because they're trying to normalize, like, we do believe in washing your hands and staying healthy and whatever, but again, it's just a PR pitch for Scientology to act like they're doing something in the community, act like they're teaching people to wash their hands and do things like that during this whole pandemic that's going on, but really they don't believe it exists. They believe it's, again, I'm not going to go into all the reasons why. There's a video on my channel if you're curious to hear how Scientology actually handles it and why they don't believe viruses and things actually really exist. So check that out on my channel if you are interested in watching that. But again, Scientology doesn't know how to handle these digital things that go on. So let's talk about the YouTubers and the ones that do have ties or have mentioned Scientology. So the very first person we are going to mention is Trisha Paytas. Now, if you're not familiar with who Trisha Paytas is, I'm sure you've seen like her videos or her trolling and stuff on social media and stuff like that. She has around almost 5 million subscribers, I think 4.9 million subscribers. She also has a vlogging channel as well with at least 1 million. And she's very notorious for being kind of scandalous on YouTube. And she makes all different types of videos, recently more trolling style ones, but she's done vlogging and she's done all sorts of different content. She doesn't really fit in like a specific like niche, like she's a beauty creator or whatever, but she's just kind of like a personality of someone who's very like extravagant and goes into different phases. Like one minute she's wearing like My Chemical Romance and she's gothic, and then the next minute she's like this Barbie girl driving a pink G-Wagon around Los Angeles, right? So she's one of those type of YouTubers. And I knew Trisha, and again, briefly, and I went to one of her birthday parties before, and I've done her hair actually, and you can see the videos if you just look up like Trisha Paytas and Steven Mango or Mango Tea or whatever, something might come up. But yeah, so I knew Trisha at one point, and she made a video back in 2016. I think the title was Let's Talk About Scientology. So I'll show you some different clips from this video, and maybe that's the way to do it, and then we'll discuss.
I think Scientology gets a bad rap. There's a big blue building on Wilshire. They say if you go into this building on Wilshire, you never come out, which is scary, but at the same time, there's some sort of protection they're offering you. Some sort of security, some sort of, we got you.
So as Trisha's saying in this video, again, I can't show the whole entire video for copyright reasons and stuff like that, but Trisha talks about how, you know, there's this big blue church and it's on Wilshire, which is not true. It's on Sunset Boulevard. And again, this is where like Trisha's trolling kind of comes in. And she was talking about how like she wanted to be inside Scientology, or thinks that if she got trapped inside Big Blue or had people who were like accounting for her or like looking after her, it's almost like a comforting sort of thing. Like if people want to like hold you captive or want to like hold you inside Scientology, or if they're like controlling in that way. I don't remember exactly how she worded it, but that's actually not kind of false in a lot of ways. Not saying that Trisha's accurate by saying that. Like, of course, it's like a little nutty in the head to say that, but it's also kind of not, in the sense that there are people out there who do get involved in cults who want to feel like that sense of community and want to feel that sense of closeness to other people. Like for me, I always felt kind of like neglected in a way by others in my life. And even like when I was like 18 or 19, I moved to LA and no one would call me, right? And no one would check in on me really, like family members and stuff. I'm not talking like just about my parents. That's a whole other story. I need to make a video about my relationship with my family and stuff and Scientology and how that all played in like years ago when I was still in. But like I wouldn't have any friends call. It's almost like I moved away and no one ever talked to me again, right? And I didn't have like family members, like aunts or uncles or anyone like calling and be like, hey, how's it going? 18-year-old Steve. I was a kid, I was a baby at that age. And that's when I got into Scientology. I didn't have anyone to protect me, right? And yeah, I was an adult, but I never had anyone to have like that close connection to be like, hey, how's it going? Did you have an acting audition? Oh, we're rooting for you and we believe in you and good luck. Like I didn't have that. So it was in Scientology to have people like love bomb me and make me feel so special and important and like pouring out their hearts and souls to me and wanting to like connect with me and come to the org. We have an event, we have a party, we have a game to play, as they would say, and all these different things. It made me feel like, wow, like why do they want me here so much? They must really think I'm talented and special and all these different things, and they believe in me as an actor. They said they're going to make me the next Tom Cruise, and they call and check on me if I don't show up, and they don't want me to leave when I'm there, and they take all this interest in hearing my story and like, hey, like tell me more about you. Tell me about how your day was. And I actually felt like, wow, these people actually took like this vested interest in me. And when I left, I didn't like have that anymore. I still don't have any friends, and I still don't have all these different things that I'm like seeking in my life, obviously, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm like weak-minded to fall into a cult again. But what I'm saying is it's easy to understand how some people who don't have that dynamic could want to feel like, oh, I want to join the Sea Org. I want to be around these people 24/7. They don't want me to leave because they think of something. And even if it's twisted, even if it's not right, you still feel like, yeah, I might not want to be held captive there, obviously, but the sense of feeling like, don't go, and like, we want you here, like you can't leave. That sort of feeling of being like wanted in some way from others and feeling like needed and cared for, even if it's not, even if it's in like a sick way, right? And that's why I'm going to talk later on about codependency in Scientology and stuff, because it's like a strong element I didn't even really understand until like recently. You guys are going to be shocked about like that when I talk about it in this next video that I'm going to make on that. But yeah, I guess what Trisha was saying in that part of the video is kind of like, I want to say again, it's not true, but I can understand emotionally wanting to feel like people care or they want me there. And yeah, she's wrong about a lot of different things about what Scientology believes in, but she was kind of right in the sense she was saying like how Scientology believes like your own like God in a way. Scientology doesn't believe in like a God or a higher power in the same way. We're all spiritual beings and we're trying to accomplish, or we're trying to reach higher levels of spirituality, but on the operating Thetan levels and higher up the bridge in Scientology that you go, you're able to obtain more like a godlike status. You're able to control matter, energy, space, and time. You're going to have influence over other people, controlling their thoughts. So you almost have like a way of having like superpowers and stuff like that, and you could be more like a god in a way, but you're not like worshipped as like a deity type of thing, if that makes any sense. And again, when I actually was talking to Trisha at one point in time, again, I don't think this is like revealing anything like she wouldn't publicly say, but she mentioned how like she was in like a Scientology like training video, like, you know, they release all their like actor casting calls in Hollywood, and they get people to go out, or they used to Hemet, to Gold Base, which is their management base, which is their movie studio, to film like say a Dianetics video or any number one of like their church events. Like they do videos and stuff at their events, so they'll get actors or aspiring actors to go to these auditions and go out, even if it's only a couple $100s or whatever, to appear in these training films. They're usually non-union, so they're not targeting like union actors, they're targeting like anyone who just like hops off the bus, so to speak. So yeah, a lot of people who were trying to be actors in the early days got roped into Scientology acting videos, and I believe Trisha said she was in one or maybe a few of them. I don't think she ever took a course or was ever actually like involved inside Scientology, but I just thought it was interesting when she posted this video a couple years ago talking about Scientology, when it's like, but again, Trisha trolls, you never know what's true with Trisha. And the second person we are going to be talking about is Shay Carl. Now, Shay Carl is a vlogger. I'm not 100% familiar with his content. I never watched his channel or anything like that, but I guess he has like a channel called Shay Tards, and he has another channel. He ranges between 1 million on one channel. I think another one is like 4.8 million, something like that. So kind of similar to Trisha's audience. Several million people are watching his channel. And I believe that there was a lot of drama that happened like a few years ago, maybe like 2-3 years ago, where he, I believe, had like a drug addiction or was struggling with some sort of substance use disorder. And I believe he was having marital issues possibly, or issues with his girlfriend. I know that there was something going on. It could have been an affair, or it could have been like a breakup, or there was something that actually happened with Shay, that triggered him to go to rehab. I believe one of his channels is more like a family channel, so maybe there was some sort of issue with the family or something which kind of prompted him to go to rehab. Now, he didn't just go to any rehab though, and this is what kind of stirred up actual like news stories, and I did a video about this on my Mango Tea channel. If you go to my Mango Tea channel, you can look back. It's probably, say, a year or two ago I made the video, but again, I don't have a ton of videos on that channel. If you wanted to find like the 45-minute full story, if you have any interest in hearing about more about like Narconon and stuff, I put it on my other channel back in the day because it was more like gossip related. But basically the idea was he went to Narconon. Now, Narconon, as we all know, is a drug rehab that is owned and run and using Scientology principles. Now, you may be thinking, okay, what's so bad about that? Again, I'll make another video on what Narconon is. These videos could be hours long. If I have to explain every single thing that I talk about that, like, people would say, what's Narconon, right? So I'd have to try to explain it. So it's very difficult to do these videos because I don't know how much you guys know watching, but it's a drug rehab that uses, say, sauna and vitamins, which is like a 5-hour sauna detox. This isn't like a safe withdrawal, I would say, because if you're, say, on opiates or on like very hard drugs, and then you go and you have to get off these drugs cold turkey after being on them maybe for years and years, and you do it every single day, and now you have to withdraw, and Scientology makes you stop. They're not going to put you on Suboxone, or they're not going to put you on like a maintenance drug. What you do is you go from being a full-flown substance user to nothing, and they'll give you vitamins, niacin, and they'll throw you in the sauna to sweat out the drugs and toxins. Now, I'm not sure if Scientology makes you be clean for a certain period of time before actually going on the program. They might actually request that you withdraw off the drugs at home, maybe for a few days or however long it takes before going to Narconon. I'm not sure how they can legally get around it because there have been several deaths at Narconon centers. So again, we don't really necessarily know how they deal with that. I'll try to find out, but I do know that it's very dangerous to go through a Scientology drug detox. You also are doing Scientology TR drills, which are the training routines, screaming at ashtrays, making them sit and stand, looking at someone in the eyes for 2.5 hours without moving or talking or anything. And there's a lot of other mind-numbing drills. They do like life skill courses, which are like learning what a suppressive person is, potential trouble source, learning about merchants of chaos, which is the media, like putting in bad news on the media and stuff, right? So they have all these different courses, which are basically Scientology elementary courses. They have Narconon Arrowhead, which is their big center in Oklahoma. They have Narconon Suncoast, which is in Clearwater. The one that I believe Shay Carl went to was Narconon Ojai, which may be like their celebrity, or was supposed to be intended for like celebrities and VIPs. I believe, I can't be 100% sure that was the one, but again, I'll put it in here when I find out which one it was. But there's a number of different Narconons out there. And the dangerous thing about Narconon too is if you just type in like, say, drug detox or drug withdrawal or anything that would be a keyword about drug rehab, Scientology pops up always like number one. They pay the most amount of money in advertising and those different type of websites. Like say you look up marijuana, and then there's a website like side effects of marijuana and different things like that. You guys know what I'm talking about, those type of websites, and they'll list out different things when you type in a certain drug's name. And Scientology always operates those, so when you call in looking for help, it brings you to basically Scientology. And think of how scary that is too. And it'll cost around $45,000, not insurance, no insurance taken rather. And the other dangerous thing about this too is, yes, you're funding Scientology, but it's scary because if you're the drug addict, as you guys would imagine, they can paint you out to be a little unstable or crazy, or I'm not saying this is my opinion. Obviously, don't take this the wrong way of the choice of words I'm using about this, but they'll say, like you're trapped, right? They don't let people leave. And say you're on the sauna detox and medically it's dangerous, or you feel sick and you call your loved one and you say, hey, I want to get out of this rehab. The loved one says, I just paid $45,000 for this, you're staying. And they'll say, no, like they're making me scream at ashtrays and they're making me act weird. Scientology then tells the family, hey, like when they're coming off of drugs, like you have to understand they're an addict, they will do anything, and they'll say or do anything to leave rehab because they don't want to be here, they want to go off and use drugs. We're keeping them safe here, and we're like holding them against their will to get them through the program. So yeah, they'll say all these things to you, but just know it happens to everyone, it's normal. And they'll say just like how I am, it's normal, don't worry. Like they'll say anything to go back to using drugs, they'll be clean, they've already been sober 3 weeks. So another 63 days to go, or 4 months, or whatever, and they try to get them to sign staff contracts where they stay at Narconon to work for like slave labor, again, $50 a week or whatever. So Narconon is very dangerous, as you guys can tell from what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's not a good program to be involved in. I believe that Scientology, or Narconon rather, sponsored Shay Carl to go through the program, or did some sort of collaborative sponsored post. So either he could go for free, or they said, hey, we'll give you a reduced rate, or we'll let you stay here if you vlog and promote Narconon. It was some sort of influencer deal, believe it or not. And I don't know how they found Shay or like what the deal was, but they use his videos as promotional materials. And I've seen it where Shay Carl was talking positively about Narconon, and that's on Narconon pages. So it was some sort of beneficial deal for both of them. I'm surprised that maybe he was desperate at the time. Who knows like what the real deal was. Maybe they offered him money, like, come to our rehab, we'll give you 20 grand if you come here. So there was some sort of ulterior motive to it. It's just kind of crazy that you would go to your audience of millions of people and talk about a drug rehab, or talk about Scientology, or preying on people who might be at a low place in their life and saying, hey, come to this drug rehab. And people don't know it's Scientology unless you're like smart enough to have known about every Scientology front group and every influence Scientology has in the world. Not everyone has that. So when you hear about this substance abuse program, you're not going to think it's Scientology necessarily, right? It wouldn't be like your first thought to come to mind. So I think it was just very shady of Shay to do that. Now, the next one I'm going to be talking about is Charlie Wakely. And he's actually from the Scientology London org. He's not a YouTube star like Trisha or Shay Carl, but he is a YouTuber that was kind of doing what I was saying, trying to promote Scientology positively on YouTube. And again, this never goes well for the Scientologists. They're not able to amass a big audience, so he doesn't go under YouTube star by any chance or stretch of the imagination, but he's posting videos like Solutions to a Dangerous World, which is Scientology. And he's doing a lot of different social media videos. I've seen ones where he's like actually reading through Scientology, like Scientology handbook or different books, clearing up words, getting the derivation of different words, and actually educating people on Scientology. So someone who could be at a down place in their life as well, watching these videos, and they're talking about how there's like negative influences in your life, and you have to be able to spot these different people holding you back. You might actually believe it and start disconnecting from others in your life and getting more involved to where this person like Charlie could actually rope you in. You could write him an email and he says, hey, like, take this course at the London org, or we can find, you're in New York, we can set you up at the New York org. And someone like him could actually use his, even if it's small, platform on YouTube to rope in unsuspecting people into the church, thinking, oh wow, like, look how normal the Scientologists are, or whatever. I know Scientology Orlando is doing this on Facebook as well. They've been posting videos doing like touch assists and talking about SPs and all that sort of stuff. Again, unless you're like looking up Scientology Orlando, you may not find those videos. I don't know how big their reach actually is on Scientology Orlando, but you guys can look up Scientology Orlando on Facebook and see these videos I'm referencing if you really so chose to do such a thing, or look up Charlie's videos if you really wanted to see the Scientologists talking about Scientology and what their like message is. I don't recommend it. Obviously, it's brainwashing, so I don't want you guys to go get brainwashed for no reason, but he is someone who's trying to promote Scientology on his social media or his YouTube channel. So again, far and few between Scientologists using YouTube as their main platform of disseminating Scientology. They want to get someone one-on-one to be able to influence them, just like in an abusive relationship or marriage or friendship or any sort of manipulation or abuse. It's better one-on-one than like through YouTube, because again, you don't know who you're speaking to, and you need to like alter your sales pitch and alter your manipulation to fit the person separately. And the fourth person we are going to be talking about is Taryn Tush. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce her name, but she's actually Mike Rinder's daughter. Now, Mike Rinder, obviously with Leah Remini, they are their power duo of exposing Scientology. Mike Rinder was formerly in the church as a spokesperson. He's left and exposes Scientology. I'm sure you guys all know who he is. And his daughter is on this like slander campaign, Justice for Mom, against Rinder in order to slander Rinder as like some sort of like wife beater, or like he neglected his family. So she posts these different videos. She's even done like pictures, and she has other social media posts on like say Facebook and Twitter and other platforms where her videos pop up as like these sponsored posts. So Scientology is basically using her and pumping money into her to slander Mike Rinder, to get him off of A&E, and she thinks that was successful, her campaign, because the show's not on A&E anymore. So Taryn's taking this as some type of win, like her campaign of justice for mom worked, because there was an altercation between Mike Rinder and his wife at one point in time. Again, I don't know exactly, because again, it's a he said, she said sort of thing. I believe Rinder says that maybe he like grabbed her arm or something, and she's claiming she's like nerve damage, and she's claiming like she can't, like she's been like permanently disfigured or something like that, and that Rinder abandoned his children or something. But again, just because he left Scientology doesn't mean he's abandoning them. They could say, or he could say the same thing, they're abandoning him by staying in the church, not the other way around. So it's like this messy family thing, but they're using, even if like she didn't call the cops at the time, or there wasn't actually like, they all have like their different stories of what to believe. I'm not saying that Rinder's wrong or she's right or anything like that. Again, it's not my place to say, because again, I don't really know what happened. That's something to ask Mike Rinder about. But there was some sort of physical altercation that happened, but they're using it, and even if it wasn't an altercation, some sort of something that happened where there was like a shouting match, because like the daughter and the mother showed up to like a doctor's appointment that Rinder was at in the parking lot, or some sort of thing in order to get him to go back into the church, I think it was at the time. But yeah, something happened, and she's been on this whole entire campaign to slander Mike Rinder and stuff like that. It doesn't work. No one's really watching her videos. I don't think anyone believes her as necessarily what she's claiming, or the wife is claiming again, or ex-wife rather, against Mike Rinder. It was obviously just a campaign set up. All these years later, she's trying to come up with some sort of accusation in order to try to paint him in a bad light, to get him off of A&E. Scientology is notorious for doing that. They'll claim people are child abusers. They'll claim people are doing drugs. They'll claim people are unsafe for the world in order to get them removed from their jobs or from any position of power, in order to not have the truth about Scientology revealed to the public. Now, the fifth person that we are going to be talking about is Shannon Rose. Now, you guys may know from my drama on Mango Tea with Shannon, I had a whole entire situation with her last summer, and we got ourselves into like a YouTube scandal, whatever, but we're no longer friends, and she has probably 1 million plus subscribers on her YouTube channel, and it's not like it's like this big publicly known thing, but she was talking to me about Scientology, where she was looking into Scientology at one point in time. Again, she hasn't posted any videos or anything about it. It's just like a little bit of gossip for you guys, because like I believe her and her husband are like some type of like anti-vaxxers, and they are, or her husband is more like a like holistic, don't take any drugs for anything, like, not saying that this is what he says, but like say like, oh, eat an apple in order to get rid of a migraine, like those type of old wives' tale type of thing, and things that aren't based in any sort of like medical science or anything like that. And I think that, you know, if they did join, it would actually kind of join up with his views, because Scientology doesn't believe in taking drugs or medicines. You can handle anything with the reactive mind, and you don't necessarily need to take a pill. Just go in session, receive auditing. And when I was telling them more about Scientology beliefs and stuff like that, it's almost like I believe that they actually agreed with a lot of those different things. So I believe that they're like prime suspects for Scientology. I do know that Shannon said that she was looking into Scientology at one point, and she, I don't know if she spoke to them or took a course or anything like that, but I do know that she had some type of small introduction to Scientology. And the reason I bring this up, because again, it's not like she has like videos about it or anything like that. The reason I bring it up is that there are some people who already naturally believe in Scientology to some degree without it even being called Scientology. Some people like me, when I got in, I was more holistic. I didn't believe in medicines and stuff like that. So it already was easy for me to agree with Scientology. So once you kind of, or Scientology finds out like some of your beliefs align with theirs, it's easy for them to kind of manipulate you in order to continue to, you know, stay inside Scientology or take another course, or easy for them to sell you your first course to begin with. So that's why I brought that up, because yeah, if you're some heavy marijuana smoker and Scientology says, hey, you can't smoke marijuana ever again and you can't go on course and smoke marijuana, a lot of people will be like, peace, I'm out. So if you don't do any drugs at all or anything, it's easy to be like, yeah, I'm not going to show up on course high on drugs, right? So, or I'm not going to show up after drinking a glass of wine. So it's easier for some people to stay inside Scientology. Now, I'm sure that there are dozens of more people who may have some sort of Scientology affiliation. I wanted to talk about the 4 that I knew off the top of my head, I guess you can say, or top of my hand, however that saying goes. If you guys actually like this type of video, if you want to know like more of the tea on who has Scientology affiliations to YouTube, and let me know and I'll be sure to look into more YouTube stars who have Scientology affiliation. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to also say to you guys quickly at the end of the video, thank you to all of you who've been sending so much love and support after my mental health video that I posted. It was actually my mental health and my physical health. I did a video about my diagnosis since leaving Scientology, opening up about 2 different health conditions I've never talked about before. So check that out on my channel if you're interested in watching. I've gotten hundreds and hundreds of emails and comments and messages and support from that video that I posted, so I don't feel so alone, and I'm so happy that you guys are on this journey with me together. I never, like I said in the beginning of the video, ever expected that I would have a platform on YouTube, even if it's small. I know I'm not some huge YouTube celebrity or something, but it's still more than my everyday real life. I know that a lot of you guys do relate to me as I relate to you, and I'm doing my best to respond to as many people as I can. And it's always my luck, for some reason I pick certain people to respond to, get mad if I don't respond like within like 24 hours or anything like that. I do my best to try to get back to as many people and respond as quickly as I can. It's been hard in this quarantine for me specifically to be able to like wake up and get ready and feel inspired to like post videos and do stuff when the world is just in this like really uncertain time. So it's been hitting me hard. I'm sorry if I haven't gone back to everyone yet, but I'm just like doing my best to try to hold on and continue to make my content and work on my podcast. Again, I'm really excited about that, and I'm hoping I can get that going soon. And check out my Beauty Fruit channel if you haven't already. I have videos that I'm going to be posting with beauty treatments and all sorts of fun stuff like that, skincare and makeup and so much more. So I'm really excited about that. So check that out if you haven't done so already. And yeah, just take it one day at a time, guys. And that's what I'm doing right now. And hopefully we can get back into the real world sooner than later. Hopefully before my birthday, which is July 5th. Again, I don't know if that will happen. I'd like to get out and go on a trip or do something because I am losing my mind over here. And yeah, make sure to follow me on social media at stevenmango. If you guys have some fun video ideas and things you want to see from me or topics to discuss with regard to Scientology, let me know in the comment box down below. I also want to have like a Zoom chat meetup with my subscribers here on Mangotology and do like a live question and answer. So if you're interested in joining my Zoom chat, let me know in the comment box down below and write to me either by email or on social media at stevenmango. Follow me for like different social media posts and stories and stuff anyways, but write to me on social media if you want to join my Zoom chat with a couple of good times that work for you guys, possibly in like the afternoon, and let me know when you guys are available and I'll pick the most common day and time, possibly in the next week, to have like a Zoom chat so you guys can hang out and we can chat during this like lockdown period, so you guys can answer me or you guys can ask me questions and I'll answer them live, so we can have like a virtual hangout. So if you guys are interested in joining that, let me know. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure you're subscribed and becoming a Mangotologist if you haven't done so already. Like this video and I will see you on my next one. Bye, guys.